Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 25, verse 13. Once while wandering in this way, he saw on the southern side of the Himalayas, in a place named Bharatavarsha, a city that had 9 gates all about and was characterized by all auspicious facilities. That city was surrounded by walls, parks, and within it were towers, canals, windows, and outlets. The houses were decorated with domes made of gold, silver, and iron. The floors of the houses in that city were made of sapphire, crystal, diamond, pearls, emerald, rubies, because of the luster of the houses in the capital. The city was compared to the celestial town named Bhogavati. In that city, there were many assembly houses, streets, crossing streets, restaurant, gambling houses, market, resting places, flags, festoons, and beautiful parks. All these surrounded the city. On the outskirts of that city were many beautiful trees and creepers encircling a nice lake. Also surrounding that lake were many groups of birds and bees that were always chanting and humming. The branches of the trees standing on the bank of the lake received particles of water carried by spring air from the falls coming down from the icy mountain. In such an atmosphere, even the animals of the forest become non-violent and non-envious like great sages. Consequently, the animal did not attack anyone. Over and above everything was the cooing of the cuckoos. Cooing of the cuckoos. Any passenger passing along that path was invited by that atmosphere to the lake to take rest in that nice garden. While wandering here, while wandering here and there in that wonderful garden, King Puranjana suddenly came in contact with a very beautiful woman who was walking there without any engagement. She had 10 servants with her, and each servant had hundreds of wives accompanying him. The woman was protected on all sides by a 5-hooded snake. She was very beautiful and young, and she appeared very anxious to find a suitable husband. The woman's nose, teeth, forehead were all very beautiful. Her ears were equally very beautiful and were bedecked with dazzling earrings. The waist and hips of the woman were very beautiful. She was dressed in a yellow sari with a golden belt while she walked. Her ankle bell rang. She appeared exactly like a denizen of the heaven. With that end with the end of her sari, the woman was trying to cover her breasts, which were equally round, well placed side by side. She again and again tried to cover them out of shines, while she walked exactly like a great elephant. Puranjana, the hero, became attracted by the eyebrows and smiling face of the very beautiful girl, and was immediately pierced by the arrow of her lusty desire. When she smiled shyly, she looked very beautiful to Puranjana, who, although a hero, could not refrain from addressing her. My dear lotus eyes,
Hare
my dear.
Krishna. I think, yeah, let's see if we can even reach this level to this verse. And
Hare Krishna.
then, thank you very much, Parth Prabhu. All pleasure for you. So how was the reading?
Yeah, it is very, I mean, pleasing.
Nice. Okay. So let's begin. ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकतः मह्यं ददति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुश्रीयुतपदकमलान् श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातां सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सह गणललित श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नाम्ने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे वंशकल्पद्रव्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यः वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्ता काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी ऋषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायण नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna. So we are in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Canto 4, chapter 25. This is coming after the wonderful Rudra Gita, where Lord Shiva has sang the glories of Lord, and so that one can make life perfect if one recites that every day in the morning and evening. This is the Palastuti of that. Then Narad Muni visits Prachina Parishat, the father of Prachetas, who was engaged in all yajnas, and then uh, out of compassion, Narad Muni is helping him to what do you call this? Um, through this means he has helped to explain him what should be the goal of life, and it is evident from this chapter the way that Narad Muni is yeah teaching Prachina Parishad what he should do. Yeah. Of course, a king who is an expert, who is expert in sacrifices, sometimes what may happen is when we know so many things, we tend to just go like a autopilot mode. And in that autopilot mode, we just do as it is, not thinking, is there something there for improvement? Parivartan is something through which one can always attain, uh, try and attain perfection. But that perfection will never happen. Why? Because we are Jivatmas, uh, which means that there is always a chance that we uh, can improve and compete with our own self to become better of us. So, Narad Muni has given a very allegoric representation of his own life story. If one would say, I would like to speak out your biography, uh, I think Satish Prabhu, you want to have a biography about you, which is having all, yeah, glories, right? And in that, you want that not a small event or incident of your life is missed. Everything should be for your glorification. In that sense, um, बोले. For that sense, so here, but rather, if I am going to tell you a story of someone else who was a fool, Yeah, you might appreciate. Okay, yeah, it is a real story. So which means no one is perfect, and which means that okay, a person can be like that. Huh? Don't you tend to relish such a story? I don't know if Satish Prabhu is
Yes,
there.
yes, Prabhuji, I'm here. Yes.
But if I'm going to tell this is your own story, yeah, immediately, yeah, your openness to enjoy, your openness to take lessons from it, all these things, yeah, are hampered. Yeah. So in this way, Narad Muni is giving a story of a king called Puranjan. Puranjan, Pura, mm, Puran means body. Yeah. So, and Jana means the uh, being or a human. So in this way, here we see this is a story of a common man or a human. In that connection, we were discussing about Swam in the past. King Puranjan began to search for a suitable place to live. This is also what we're doing. We are trying here and there. We travel all around the world to find a beautiful place. Even after a great deal of traveling, he could not find a place just to his liking. So, which means in this, we have been traveling through different species. This is one understanding. So sometimes we took the body of a dog, sometimes the body of a cat, sometimes the body of a male, sometimes a female, sometimes a reptile, sometimes a tree. Yeah, this like a two-legged or four-legged or no-legged. So this kind, we have tried different places, but we didn't find happiness what we actually were looking for. Finally, Puranjan became morose and disappointed. Uh, why? Because a jiva, yeah, King Puranjan, has unlimited desires for sense enjoyment. After all, we took this body so that we thought we can enjoy to the best. Hmm. Consequently, he traveled all over the world to find a place where all his desires could be fulfilled. He didn't find it. Hmm. He found a feeling of insufficiency everywhere. And uh, then he has continued wandering because we always are looking for happiness. We think by squeezing this, I can be happy. By squeezing somewhere else, I can be happy. I can do this. Maybe this will give me happy. Yeah, make me happy. So in that way, in this business of search for happiness, we are non-stop looking. Uh, when we are tired, when we are disappointed, we take a bit back. But as soon as we get some energy, then we immediately jump upon. Similar, just like a person who is sick, a person who is diseased, when he is very sick, he becomes weak. Then he thinks, oh, what is this life? This life is all about detachment. I have attached so many things I should not have attached. All these are the causes of my suffering. All these things when he is on his hospital bed or patient bed, yeah. So he's thinking all these things. Life should have been simple. I made it complicated. Life is that. Life is this. So many things. Realizations are really making him just like a person who is a love failure. A person who is a love failure, we know he can talk all vairagya. He gets all vairagya and he say, you know what? Life is this, life is that. After all, there is no happiness in this world. Who has told there is happiness? He's a fool. All these things, right? But as soon as when you get a good, beautiful girl who is walking in front of you, all this vairagya will go away. Uh, Similar to that patient, once he gets some energy, then all that whatever he was thinking, that okay, no, let's enjoy now, and all those things are for later. Mm. So that way, this Puranjan is going from place to place, and finally he landed in the wonderful place called Bharatavarsha. I don't know, Partha Prabhu. I think you started from 13th verse, right? I think we didn't discuss 13th last time.
Yes, that's correct.
Because it's a very important verse. I kept it actually intentionally for today. Yeah. So while wandering in this way, he saw on the southern side of Himalayas, in the place named Bharatavarsha, a city that had 9 gates all about and was characterized by all auspicious facilities. So in this connection, Prabhupada is helping us to understand the spirit of what is Bharatavarsha. Hmm? Bharatavarsha, when a living entity takes birth in Bharatvarsh, Bharatvarsh is the one, it is named um, uh, what is that? Ilavata, what is it? What is that Varsha? I forgot. Ilavati, I think. Varsha. Yeah. Before that, that was that. And then, because Bharat Maharaj has ruled the universe very nicely, then the world is renowned by Bharatavarsha. Yeah. So anyway, so he considered to be more fortunate. Yeah. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying the one who is taken birth in Bharatvarsh is very fortunate. Why? Because Bharata Bhumite Haile Manushya Janma Yara, Janma Sarkata Kari Kara Para Upakara. So this is very, very important that one's life can be upakar. Hmm? Sartakat means what is the purpose is met, and that is very important. Whoever takes birth in land of Bharatvarsh attains all the facilities of life. This is very important. Uh, we may think that India is not having all the facilities, so that's why people are moving from India to different parts of the world. Because we see that okay, the Western world is having better facilities. But here Prabhupada is mentioning Bharatvarsh has facilities, all the facilities of life. It's very interesting to understand this. Here, Prabhupada says he may take advantage of all these facilities for both material and spiritual advancement and thus make his life successful. That is the key. When we are saying facilities of life, we should understand what is really facilitating us in our life, not facilitating our body, but actually facilitating our self. What is that which facilitates our self is means which gives us spiritual advancement. After attaining the goal of life, one may distribute his knowledge and experience all over the world for humanitarian purposes. In other words, one who takes birth in the land of Bharatavarsha by virtue of his past pious activities gets facilities to develop the human form of life, which is very important. When we take birth in Bharatavarsha, so most of us are born from India, and then we are now in different parts of the world, and we should understand what is the purpose of that. In India, the climatic condition is such that one can live very peacefully without being disturbed by material conditions. Is it not a fact? Yeah. People may think, hey, how is it possible? How India is becoming more and more disturbed, isn't it? We're talking about India. Prabhupada is mentioning here. So Prabhupada is also mentioning when the time it was Yudhishthir Maharaj, when Ramchandra Maharaj was ruling the terrain, there were no anxieties. People were free of anxieties. There were not even extreme cold or extreme heat. Adi Daivika, Adi Bhautika, Adi Atmika, Kleshas were all absent during the reign of Lord Ram or Maharaj Yudhishthir. But what is happening at present compared to other countries on earth? India is artificially disturbed. The problem is coming here. The problem is that it's not that India um, uh, has it's not that India has nothing to offer. India has a lot to offer. But what has happened is because India is taking up the way of lifestyle changes by imitating the West. It is artificially disturbed. And despite these material disturbances, however, the country's culture is such that one can easily attain the goal of life. So this is another thing, isn't it? What is our understanding? Our understanding is that yeah, India has changed, and India has changed so much that where is the culture? We may see that the culture is even far better because people, if you see, for example, people who are in Germany, we see how loyal they are and how straightforward they are, how truthful they are, how helpful they are, isn't it? Sometimes we think that even we may not see such a great values way of living in India. So in that way, isn't then Germany far better? Prabhupada is mentioning that we should understand that is it favorable for spiritual advancement? That is the key. If one lives in a foreign country, and if he is making still spiritual advancement, then that is favorable. But Vedic culture is very, very special and unique. Why? Because yeah, we can see that is very much flourishing in India. The next question will come is India still representing the real true Vedic culture? Hmm, that is a question. Prabhupada also helps us to understand that further. He says in this verse, the Lakshita Lakshanam uh, uh, indicates that the human body attained in Bharatavarsha is very auspicious. Vedic culture is full of knowledge, and a person born in India can fully take advantage of Vedic culture, knowledge, and cultural system known as Varnashram Dharma. So, this Varnashram Dharma is very important. Is the Varnashram Dharma available in any other part of the world? For example, is there a respect, value given to sannyas? Yeah? Is grihasthas able to do the duties of grihasthashram? What about the Gurukul or Varnashrama facilities for brahmacharis? Hmm? Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Is there such a classification which is based on the gunas? So these kind of things are not uh, available. Hmm? And when these are not available, then what will happen is it's man-made way of living. It's based on comfort, so that it's based on give and take respect. It is based on I draw a line and let's not cross. That's why we have these borders. And of course, time to time there is tensions in the line of control areas. So whereas when we see the Vedic cultural is based on Varnashrama system and based on Vedas, even at the present time, as we travel all over the world, we see that in some countries, human beings have many material facilities, but no facilities for spiritual advancement. So that is the key. So when we are talking about advancement of a country, how much is it encouraging spiritual advancement is the key to understand. Not how one can lead a life of material happiness. That's not the key. So we find everywhere the defects of one-sided facilities and lack of full facilities. So what is happening is here when we talk about India, we should understand must have. I think Prabhupada also mentions. Yeah, in order to take birth in India, one must have performed many pious activities in a past life. Okay. An Indian who is born in India hmm, must have done many pious deeds, so that one can take birth in India. Why? Because the the environment, the atmosphere of India is um, filled with Vedic culture. Hmm. Prabhupada also mentions, but what has happened is that where can we find this? I think that comes in the next verse. But here we go in further. Further in the purport, Prabhupada is mentioning that we find everywhere the defects of one-sided facilities, isn't it? What is happening? Uh, there is great facility for material advancement, so that there is social security, there is insurance, health facilities, uh, advancement, science and technology, advancement in socio orders, everything. What is happening? Uh, wh- there is there is no much encouragement for um, religious activities. How do we see, for example, if we have to do a Ratha Yatra in Germany, do you know what should we say to the government to get permission? Hmm? Does anyone know? We say it's a peace demonstration. Hmm? It's not a religious uh, event. So we see that we find everywhere the defects of this, and a blind man can walk but not see, and a lame man cannot walk but can see. Yesterday, do you remember in Prabhupada Leelamrit, we were talking about, we were reading about this, and this is a logic based on what called Andha Pangu Nyaya, means Andha means blind, right? So the blind man may take the lame man over his shoulder. Hmm? And as the blind man walks, the lame man may give him directions. A blind man cannot, he cannot see. and a lame man cannot walk. But when they both help each other, then what is happening? Thus, combined, they may walk, but individually, neither the blind nor lame man can walk successfully. Similarly, this human form of life is meant for advancement of spiritual life and for keeping the material necessities in order. So we should understand what is the purpose of. I will, because we have little less time, I'll just share the essence of this, and also a very important message I take it from here is, especially in the Western countries, there is ample facilities for material comforts, but no one has any idea of spiritual advancement. Many are hankering for spiritual advancement, but many cheaters come, take advantage of their money, bluff them, and go away. This has been there. This is happening even now. This will happen even in future. Why? Because a person who want to be cheated, the Lord arranges such that a cheater is sent so that he can be cheated. A one who is very, very sincere, mm, one who is really hankering for real spiritual advancement without any dubious ideas or thoughts. What happens is, such a person, the Lord sends the real spiritual master, his spiritual master, a sadhu. Fortunately, the Krishna consciousness movement is there to give all facilities for both material and spiritual advancement. In this way, people in the Western countries may take advantage of this movement. In India, any man in the villages, unaffected by industrial cities of India, can still live in any condition and make spiritual advancement. So, Prabhupada is making it very, very, very clear here that where is this Vedic culture still there? It is in the villages. It is not in the cities, because Ugra Karma, cities are the place of Ugra Karma, where all the factories are there, all the machines are there. There is no more um, work done in the mode of goodness. Mm. So the Varnashram system is gone. With the compromising Varnashram system, cities are thriving, which means when Varnashram system is not followed, when the yajnas are not followed, what is going to happen? It will cost us a lot. That's why we are seeing tsunamis. That's why we are seeing what is that COVIDs. Why? Because of globalization, because of different kinds of things which are not actually part of village life. Village life is very simple. Village life is very simple, and it is to be understood that the Vedic culture is still prevailing in the villages and can still live in any condition of life. The body has been called the city of nine gates, and these nine gates include two eyes, two ears, two nose, one mouth, a genital organ, and a rectum. When the nine gates are clean and working properly, it is to be understood that the body is healthy. In India, these nine gates are kept clean by villagers who raise early in the morning. Yeah. How can we be clean? What is the lifestyle in village? Get up early in the morning, uh, and then bath in well or rivers, go to the temples to attend Mangalarti, chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and take prasadam. In this way, one can take advantage of all the facilities of human life. So we are gradually introducing this system in different centers in our society in the Western countries. One who takes advantage of it becomes more and more enlightened in the spiritual life, isn't it? Huh? Prabhupada, whatever he has mentioned in the purport, we can still see what is happening. There is a very, very vibrant morning program that happens in the temples. There is definitely prasadam distribution. Hmm? And the devotees, sincere devotees, they wake up early in the morning, take bath, do japa. So this is what is that village um, way of living is brought to the West. So that is the reason why there are so many followers of ISKCON, so many one who are practicing Krishna consciousness. Why? Because that is a pure form of ways of living. And then, at the present moment, India may be compared to the lame man. Lame man means he doesn't have legs, right? And the Western country to be blind man. For the past 2000 years, India has been subjugated by the rule of foreigners, and the legs of progress have been broken. People may ask, hey, how can you say that? How can you say that India is a poor country, India is lame? It is because of the invasions that have happened. In the Western countries, the eyes of the people have become blind due to dazzling glitter of material opulence. Because of lot of material opulence, what is happening is people are having um, what do you call they get blind. The blind men of the Western countries and the lame men of India should combine together in this Krishna consciousness movement. Then the lame man of India can walk with the help of Westerner, and the blind Westerner can see with the help of the lame man. In short, the material advancement of the Western culture and the spiritual assets of India should combine for the elevation of all human society. So this is very important. And I don't know if we go further with other verses, but this verse is very important in itself. Why? Because there is a huge responsibility on us. It is that we are kind of ambassadors of not just India, not a modern India, but we should become the ambassadors of uh, village India, which means we should bring the values of simple living, high thinking, which means that we should ourselves understand that on the strength of Bhagavad Gita, lead a very simple life, not endeavoring too much for material comforts. Yeah. And then that attracts people, because that when we live simple, then we ourselves are using the facilities for our spiritual advancement. And when we are advancing spiritually, we are experiencing bliss. And when people see our bliss, they are very curious how to get that bliss in them, in their own life. And then they follow and they become Krishna conscious. So there's a huge responsibility. Yeah, as I think Rupa may also say, Bhakti Bhushan Maharaj, um, he used to just uh, thank us if we visit the temple. We didn't do much service, but he used to say, "Hey, because just you have come, yeah, people will see this Vedic culture which is coming from India. They need some, yeah, examples to see some people are really practicing it. So we should understand. We should first learn when we go to the places like Vrindavan, Mathura, Ayodhya, um, Puri, Mayapur, all this, where there is so much Vedic culture still there. Um, we have to absorb that. We have to absorb the spirit of that. Uh, of course, these are also affected by the modern facilities, affected by cities, uh, lifestyles. But we understand to attain perfection, one can lead a village life and then attain perfection, because that is very brings one very close to the Lord, which means one becomes more dependent on the grace of Lord, facilities of Lord, support given by Lord, rather than all these other support system, yeah, which we think that is very uh, yeah, we feel that we depend more on those. Rather, we should understand that we depend not on that, but we depend more on the Lord. So when we have this understanding, then we are actually bringing that to the West. Yeah, somehow we are here. You know how difficult it is for one to come to the foreign country and to, mm, yeah, to do spread this that spirit we should carry. With that spirit, when we practice Krishna consciousness, then we make Prabhupada happy. Why? Because he has come to the West. He would have just stayed in India. He would have said that India is the country where everything is there, very conducive for spiritual advancement. Let me be here, and so that all so many sadhus are anyway doing it. They will not raise any concern if I continue doing that. No, Prabhupada didn't do that. What Prabhupada did is he came to the West, and his mission was very clear, preaching, and how he was preaching very rigorously, mm, not at all tired, mm, tirelessly traveling the world to show what it means Vedic culture. So yeah, wherever we are, whenever we have possibility, we have to take this spirit and then um, do this in India. And this is what, yeah, when we follow a simple lifestyle, we ourselves are taking care of ourselves, and by seeing us, if others are inspired, that is bonus. I don't know if any Mother Prabhu is here. So this is the essence here. What is that? Anda Panga Nyaya. Then there is further explanation about this body. The city was surrounded by walls and parks. Within it were towers, canals, windows, outlets. Yeah. So in this body, that's the king's body, which is described as. There is mention about three types. Yeah, the houses there were decorated with domes made of gold, silver, and iron. The three types of metals, gold, silver, and iron, represent mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. Gold is represented as mode of goodness. That's interesting, isn't it? Hmm. Yeah. So, please be aware that due to power failure, my laptop can die anytime. Sorry for that inconvenience, but I'll continue. Let's see. So it's interesting. We see that gold represents goodness, silver passion, and iron ignorance. And Kali, when he asked, what did he ask? He wanted place in gold. That's why in Kali Yuga, gold is forbidden, right? So to come in contact with gold is risky. But here we see the importance of gold. It is in mode of goodness, but only because of Kali's influence, we are, we should be careful. And then there is further explanation that, this body is also sometimes considered as Tridhatu. Tridhatu is made of mucus, bile, and air, kapha, pitta, vayu. And Bhagavatam, it is saying that one who considers this bag of mucus, bile, and air to be self is considered no better than a cow or an ass. So we should understand that we are not this body, but actually the spirit living inside. And then there is further explanation about the floors of the houses in that city were made of sapphire, crystal, diamonds, pearls, emeralds, rubies. Because of the luster of the houses in the capital, the city was compared to the celestial town named Bhogavati. Here it is compared the city of the body. When we say this whole body, the city of this body, the heart is considered to be the capital city. Why? Because just as the capital of a state is especially gorgeously filled with various high buildings, lustrous palaces, and heart of body is filled with various desires. So that's why it's all about, it's not about mind that is dictating. It's actually the desires that in the heart that is actually dictating us. Such plans are sometimes compared to valuable jewels. The heart becomes the center for all planning for material enjoyment. I'll stop here. Okay, I'll stop here there and see if there's someone want to share something. Have any questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
I think Parth Prabhu, you have very patiently read all, I think, till 10 verses, but you have covered only 3 verses, I think. We'll cover the remaining next time.
Yes, Lord.
Yes, Satish Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I think, thank you for this recitation, Prabhuji. In spite of the, inconveniences there, we can see it, on your face also, Prabhuji. But thank you so much for reading it for us. And one thing that I recollect is Steve Jobs also, like on his deathbed, he made, because when you said, Prabhuji, like, when we lose all the, strength in the body, then we kind of say, okay, what is the purpose of this life? I recollect what he mentioned in his deathbed about, because he created the most valuable company in the world. And, and it is very, very, it is very, I don't know how to say it. It's very, I wouldn't say surprising, but it's very nice to see that, this was told in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam many thousands of centuries ago, and also Prabhupada, summarized it beautifully, Prabhuji. So it's still always relevant, all these things. Thank you, Prabhuji, for reciting this.
Yeah, so that's another test of the relevance of Vedic scriptures, right? They are tested against time. then still valid.
Absolutely. I think it is just the same, I think it's the same template that is repeating, but yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Anything that someone found interesting?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
So, Prabhuji, the living a village life. You meant it's like living a simple life. Simple life is village life.
Mm-hmm.
So, being
I'm
in
not saying village life, it's actually a whole life, but actually more prevalent in villages.
okay, yeah, okay. So, being in a foreign country, Prabhuji. So, how challenging it is to live like a village life, or uh, like people live in India. No, it's quite different here.
So what are you comparing with? What are those two things that you're comparing right now?
So we discussed that living in a village life is mode of goodness, and it's um, more towards to Krishna realization. But being
Mm-hmm.
in Germany or foreign land, it's a completely different culture, different life. We depend
Well,
more on, yeah.
it depends what we are comparing here. Again, yeah, in Germany, again, there are villages, country life. There is also city life. Mm.
Yes,
Yeah.
Prabhuji,
For
yes.
example, if you see in Spain, see Amsterdam, every country there is city life, and then there is also country life. And again, still, where there is still godless way of living, that simplicity will not help, will not work. Why? Because that's not based on this way, varnashram system, right? When there is no varnashram system understanding, then it would be just like I am living simple life because, yeah, so that I don't harm others, that they don't harm me. So that way of living will not, yeah, it's only kind of you're managing against odds. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji, yes, yeah.
So that is the key. Yeah. So that's why even in the countryside, if one can have a very nice farm and bungalow and all those things and not disturbed by anything, we cannot still appreciate that. It's only like he's having more material facilities to have a comfortable life, but that is still based on comfort for the body.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, Prabhuji. So reducing this material comfort life and um,
Yeah. So no, basically to prioritize, spiritual life over material life. Yeah. And then for that matter, even in the cities like say Prabhupada, yesterday we were reading about New York, right? When Prabhupada, he was very happy that a temple is there in the New York City, not in a village or a town, right? Why? Because where more people are there, you need more medicines there, right? So where more sick people are there, you need more hospitals. Yeah. So you're
yes,
kind of fighting against odds to make sure that those people are also saved. Yeah.
yes, Prabhuji, yeah. Thank you.
Mhm. Okay. Any further questions? Okay,
Hare
then
Krishna, Prabhuji.
have a Sindhu Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you for the class, Prabhuji. Really, I'm just thinking like we are very fortunate that we born in India, and somehow we are learning Bhagavatam from our grandparents and our parents, and like we are connected to Krishna from childhood. And I'm just thinking like because of Prabhupada only, like even Westerners can serving Krishna very nicely, that they are learning Sanskrit and slokas and everything. And really, it's a really proud moment that Prabhupada has made the world into Krishna consciousness. Really, it's impressive, Prabhuji. Yes. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, definitely. So in that way, where this shows that Krishna consciousness is not limited to only India. People may say, no, like Jagannath is the Lord of only India. No, he's the Lord of the universe. So which means Prabhupada made it available. So people who are outside India. And yeah, whatever you're saying is nice. We are given a proper facility, so we should make best of it. Yeah, it's not
Yes,
like, okay, we
Prabhuji.
had nice privilege. We should make best of it.
Yes, Prabhuji. Right. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you then. Wish you a nice weekend. Then we'll see if we can catch. No, tomorrow we can't have session because I'm not available. So see you next week. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Panchakalpadesha Krapa Sindhu Devacha Titanam Pavane Krishna. Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.